Hey guys, it's me, ya boy, Xander. I'm back, and I feel better, which is good. So, yeah, I wanted to make this video like an update video slash like a news video, but I wasn't too sure, so we'll cut the update stuff short. Long story short, I am sick. I have COVID. I feel better. I'll do a full video on that later down the line, I assume. But for now, the important thing is the fact that I do feel better. Update real quick. Videos won't be coming out every day because I don't feel 100% yet enough to be pushing out videos every day. So I'm going to take this chance to start doing some other stuff that I've been wanting to do for the channel for a while now that I didn't have the time to. So expect some different videos coming very, very soon. So other than that, I would like to let you guys know if this is, I don't know if this popped up in your recommendations, I guess. What's up? I'm Xanda. I do Digimon stuff mostly on the channel, V-Pets and the like. Trying to branch out and do some other stuff as well though, so stick around. And we will be talking, of course, about the Vital Brace. So if you want to know news about this thing, definitely follow the channel. I've been covering this since it was announced, and I will continue to cover it. And when it comes out, I will be doing a full run with the Vital Brace. I bought the special edition version, so we'll be showing off the Vmon dim, the Black War Greymon dim, as well as the Pulsemon Vital Brace dim. So if you want to check all that out, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click that bell icon so you don't miss any of my uploads. And yeah, so huge shout out to a user on Twitter who hit me up, CH. Now, during my last video I did of this, they actually hit me up and said that they actually speak and read both Japanese and English, which is really, really cool, and I really do appreciate that. So they were nice enough to offer their services as far as translation is concerned next time you get any Digimon updates. So I'll now have better information to relay to you guys because we have essentially our own translator. So thank you again. Huge shout out to CH. Thank you so much for providing this for me, for really not asking much at all. I don't even think he asked for a shout out, but I'm shouting him out anyway. There's a new video about the Vital Brace. They show off the versus mechanic, not just the versus dim mechanic. There's another battle mechanic in this device where the Vital Brace has NFC capability. So whenever you tap it against anything that emits an NFC communication, you will enact a battle. So to put into layman's terms, if you put it on the back of like your phone, if you have like Apple Pay or something like that, it should enact a battle. And if you put it against anything that would accept something like Apple Pay, that should enable a battle. And that's essentially how you're going to be able to get those battles in for your evolutions. Now, they did say before that battles will be counted towards evolution, so it is important. So now that we've seen, the versus dim mechanic, that's how you're going to be able to kind of fight other people. We're getting this, which is essentially like fighting a computer. Now, it's random, and I don't know how they pick the Digimon. I don't think they mention that in this video. I think it's completely random, and maybe it's based off of what dims you have loaded into your Vital Brace, or if they just pull from completely random sources. I think it probably pulls from existing sprites on your Vital Brace that you've already unlocked, if I had to guess. But yeah, we're not going to be actually watching the video live this time, since I already have kind of a play-by-play here thanks to CH, but we will be showing kind of relevant clips right in this area here. Let's hop right into it. So the main points here are that the staff run around the room and they check how much the steps and heart rate have increased, and they're just showing off the fact that it works. So they kind of run up and down the hallway and then they check it and they're like, whoa, my god, check that shit out, it knows that I ran, it changed my heart rate. So that's nothing too crazy, nothing really new, but I mean, hey, it does look fairly accurate, so I mean, that's good. I guess they just want to show off that, like, hey, yes, we know this is like a $60 toy, but it does work the way we intend it to, which is good. And then they test an NFC battle with the vending machine at Bandai's office, which is really cool. The warning screen is very similar to the dim battle versus screen, actually extremely similar. I think it's the exact same warning and everything. You have to click OK, it'll show you who you're fighting, and then boom, you get into the battle. So they did mention this. A draw may be possible since they don't lose upon reaching 0. So I did notice that when we were watching the dim battles. I think it was the Agumon had 0 HP, but then he had like a chance of a comeback. And so I'm assuming that if they get that comeback, that will result in the draw. So that's very interesting. So there's this like interesting kind of comeback mechanic that they've built into this. I like that. I don't know why it's reminding me of the slow motion mechanic from Tekken. It's really not the same at all, but that's kind of how I'm interpreting it. Where like, you know, you're this close, you're almost down, and there's a chance that both of you, you know, you can hit them with like one last big hit and then you can get a draw. So that is interesting. We get a close-up of the screen, and honestly, I was looking at a lot of like videos and etc. And like I'm pretty sure that what we keep seeing in these videos, I mean, they are pre-production still. I don't know if this is like exactly the final design. I'm gonna assume so though, and I mean we'll find out, because I think on like they already announced recently, now that I'm recording this video, there's another video. It's not super like important, doesn't really update much on the VB, but they did say that they'll be showing it off on the 14th of next month on the on Bandai's like Digimon show, and that will probably definitely be like the final, as close to final production model as we're gonna get of this thing, because every time I've been looking at it like in all the promotional art, all the commercials, all the promotional art and stuff, the screen is bigger. Like they make the screen look bigger on all of those, and these models, the screen is not as big as they're advertising it. And I don't want to be this kind of person. I love Bandai and I love these devices, but I don't like the fact that they are embezzling the truth here, where the screen is not as big as they're advertising. I don't appreciate that. The screen should be a bit bigger compared to the bezel and everything. I know there's a lot of technology in here, but I don't think they should be slightly enlarging it in production photos and stuff, because that's a little bit disingenuous in my opinion. Maybe I'm just crazy, and maybe it's really not, it's the same size as it's on all the promotional art, and I'm just being obtuse and I don't know what I'm talking about, which is totally possible. But to me, it just, you know, when we see the device in this and the blog post and the other videos that we've seen it in so far, and it just doesn't look as big as it does on the other one. It really doesn't. And you know, I don't know, it's kind of weird. But yeah, the screen does look to be very scratch prone. So hopefully somebody's gonna make some kind of screen protector for this thing, because it looks like it's gonna get quite a bit of scratches. Then again, the actual screen, because this is really just like the outer layer, so the actual screen is seated pretty deep in there, which is good, which means that it's protected. So, you know, you could be knocking around and you're not going to worry about the actual like LCD screen getting damaged. But that outer layer does seem very scratch prone. But at the same time, Brasso and Displex and Polywatch could get those scratches right out. So I'm not too worried about getting the screen protector or anything like that for this, because if you don't know, I kind of knock around my devices a bit, and I think it shows character. I mean, these things are things you're supposed to be running around with and playing around with anyway. You know, I try to keep them in as good condition as possible, but you know, stuff happens. And also I like doing videos showing how to keep your things looking very nice. So I will, if I do get scratched on this thing, I'll see how, you know, how Displex works on it. I just recently bought Brasso, so we'll see if Brasso can make this thing shine real nice. So yeah. But yeah, the screen pretty weak. The bezels are thick due to the NFC antenna. The bezels are also translucent, so that is very interesting. I wonder what kind of NFC antenna they're using in this. And then again, I don't like. Are there any other smartwatches slash Fitbits that are in this similar footprint that use NFC? I'm wondering, because I don't know. Like, do they have to be this thick? I feel like, I don't know. I have no idea. But at least we have that's their explanation. That's what they said, is that the NFC antenna is why the bezels are so thick, which is something I theorized. I had a feeling that the technology in here was the reason why the bezels are so thick. And it makes sense. So there's that. And they also mentioned there is no limit on NFC battles. Now, they explicitly mentioned that about NFC battles. They did not mention that about dim battles. I'm pretty sure you can do as many dim battles as you want as well. I don't think there'd be a limit on either of those. That would make no sense. NFC battles, which means there's pretty much like no DP meter or anything like that. It doesn't seem like there's any kind of system like that. Although they did mention that they could get injured. Injury does lead to death. On the VPETs, usually it's around 20 injuries that will result in death. They didn't really say if that's the same on here. I would assume so, since that's something they really have never changed. But who knows? It could be more, could be less. So do keep that in mind if you're going to be running around battling a lot. If you get injured a lot, that can lead to death. It seems like they are hinting at death, but they don't want to flat out say it. I don't know why. I think they just wanted that to be like a surprise. Making death a surprise is kind of messed up. But you know what I mean, where they don't want to completely tell you everything about this device and how it works, because they do want it to be a bit of a surprise when you do get it. Because that's the point of Digimon, really, the VPETs, is that, they will tell us enough, and then it gets to a point where, like, we just got to figure it out ourselves. And then that's when we come in as a community, and we tell each other, hey, I did this, I got that. I did this, and I got that. I battled X amount of times and died. Oh, that's interesting. I only battled this amount of times, and I'm fine. I battled the same amount of times, and I didn't die. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So I do appreciate that. And I really can't wait for this device. I really do. I just really can't. I absolutely love this device. I think that it's very interesting because, like I said before, it is bridging two things that kind of just deserved to be together for a really long time. And it's finally kind of becoming a thing. It's a marvel that it took them this long. I remember when the Fitbit craze started, and I remember reading a comment somewhere, and someone said, like, I'm surprised they haven't tried making like a Tamagotchi Fitbit where instead of, taking care and feeding this, creature so it doesn't die, you're doing it to yourself. And that's pretty much what this is, where like it's a mutual thing. Training is you doing 20 squats, but that relays into training with your Digimon. Battles really are just something that Digimon does. You don't have to do any fighting, thankfully, but you get the gist, and I do like that a lot. Again, it's kind of like an about time type thing with a lot of this stuff, so I'm happy that they took this dive for all this. I do hope that any future devices will be employing some very similar technology, especially the color screen. I think that's the biggest thing a lot of fans, especially in the West, have been asking for. I don't know about in Japan how they feel about the fact that we keep getting the monochrome screens. I'm pretty sure they would also like colored screens as well, considering that the Vital Brace is in color. I'd assume that they also feel the same way we do, or they want colored screens as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching, checking out, supporting the channel, all that good stuff. The merch is in the description down below. It's still there. Thank you so much. Huge shout out to my patrons and my member. And huge shout out to you for watching all the way to the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching again. I will see you guys soon. Not too sure when, but you'll know when you see me. Like I said before, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you guys know when I upload. because there's some new stuff coming out this week that I want to try out. So, yeah, that's it. Bye. Peace.